in the background somewhere, doing it live.
By Barry White.
All right, we're doing it live. Here we are. Whew, just made it. 6:59. Oh, what a week I had. Woo! What did I do? Well, here's a weird thing that keeps happening to me. So twice I got jammed up on one of my events, and it turned out it didn't happen for various reasons, some of which may or may not have been my fault. And so I put out a little video to tell people it wasn't happening or I wouldn't be there. And both times that little video got a ridiculous amount of hits, like way more hits than I normally get. And I'm just like, people love to see me fail. What's up with this? Carter Jane is here. Here. Happy Sunday. I'm finally back from traveling. Well, welcome back, Carter. How was your travels? Got a little time here before things get rolling. Let's see. What else did I do? I had an excellent event at the Galloway Public Library. Man, there's a lot of people there. 40 people had signed up for my talk, and I think almost 40 people showed up. Carter Chain Bipolar Month. I went to New Jersey, New York, then to Eastern Germany. Wow, that must have been quite a culture shock. Hey, what are you doing? You're walking on the sidewalk here. I don't know what's happening in Germany now. I can't do a German accent, and I certainly can't do the one that's floating around Germany right now. Carter Chain. Somehow Eastern Germany was less depressing. Oofa. Hey, you were in North Jersey, I'll have you know. North Jersey is depressing. I mean, look at the opening of The Sopranos. Other than the hot dog stand, there's not much there. What else did I do? So that was Wednesday, and then Friday was my second Piney emergency video, which got a gazillion hits. Then yesterday I went to Whitehall Mansion, which is a historic mansion here in South Jersey and Fieldsboro, New Jersey, and sold a bunch of books there. And today I went to Seacon and Seabright. It was all right. The weather cooperated. It wasn't too bad. It was surprisingly cool. Like yesterday was kind of hot, very summery, and Seabright was a little chilly, a little nipply. But that was about it. So it was a decent week. I got to do some more writing this week. I'm a little behind on book 18. I want to get, and I got so much to do this week. Oh my God. Carter, I got back to DC this week and got mugged Wednesday night. Oh my God, walking home. Jesus, are you okay? Do you want to tell us details? I had a friend get mugged years ago in Philly. He went out to get a cigarette because he still smokes, and this is the 90s. And kid came up on a bike and walked up to him and pointed a 22 at him and said, and like at first he didn't say anything. He just pointed to 22, and my friend's first thought was, man, this guy wants a cigarette. And it turns out he wanted his wallet, and my friend just went, I came outside for a cigarette. I didn't bring my wallet. And the kid went, oh, my bad. And he put the gun away like he made a mistake and pedaled off. Ardent, good evening, lads. Hope you're all well. I think we're all well. Well, Carter got mugged, so I think he's well. Ardent, did someone say smokes? Clatu barato nicotine. Is that chase it away or summon it? I can't figure it out. Oh, here's the story. Carter Chain, I'm good. To be honest, I was coming home from the bar, so I wasn't in the best shape already. They took my cash, credit cards, and phone. I'm in good shape still. Well, that's good. I mean, all that's replaceable. Geez, that's a shame, though. I always get a little paranoid that I'm going to be mugged, even though I don't go anywhere anymore. I stay out of the cities. I used to go to Philly all the time, but I don't want to go anymore. My girlfriend works there, and I fear for her sometimes, but she's been working there for years. She's kind of immune, and plus she's in there in the daytime. Ardent, that's me indicating I'm going for a smoke. Uh-oh. Hope we didn't trigger you. Man, lots of stuff went on this week in Hollywoke. So we'll talk about it. Joan is here somewhere. No, she's asleep. Very cute. And, yeah, the big news, of course, is always the box office and Thunderbolts, which did terrible, as predicted. 76 million, slightly above predictions. They were clocking it in at 75. But that is terrible. It is terrible. That is the second lowest MCU premiere. And I don't think this thing has legs at all. I've heard a couple of good reviews, but I feel like those good reviews are from Marvel fans who desperately want Marvel MCU to be good again. This was a phenomenon back in the comic book days. We used to call them Marvel zombies. And when Marvel was in decline in the comic books, and this would have been 90s, late 90s, after you had this rush of like image guys who came in and kind of umped the ante, but they were sort of disrupting a lot of the formulas that had been tried and true for many years, especially in X-Men. They were just sort of cranking up the violence a little bit and the intensity, which for a while was a really hot commodity. People liked it. But it was unsustainable was the problem, and the story really suffered. And I was calling that out, but a lot of people didn't. Carter Chain, maybe a topic for later, but did you see Candace Owens is trying to help out Harvey Weinstein? Wild world we live in, LOL. Wow, that's... Why? Why? Wow. Ardent, LOL, pop culture Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, basically. God. I had no idea. It's like, I totally stopped listening to Candace Owens after her weird sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, break? Where suddenly she went from, she had started on the left, for those of you who don't know. Ardent says at Carter, seriously? She had started on the left and then switched over to the right like hard. But she was actually pretty good. Like her delivery was good. She has a good look. And so sort of quickly became like a personality on the right. And then, how do I put this? A certain group of people seemed to upset her, and I feel like she went down a bad rabbit hole on the internet, and now she's sounding more and more like those guys who back in the 80s we would see them in bars, and they'd be in the back room screaming about, again, that certain group of people, and they never got out of that room. They just kept drinking. So it's weird she's trying to help out Harvey Weinstein because if I recall correctly, they had him pretty dead to rights. I mean, they had recordings of him, I think. I think Rose McGowan had recordings of him, didn't she? Or maybe it was another one of his victims. But I'm pretty sure Harvey Weinstein is very guilty. I mean, when Seth MacFarlane is openly making a joke about it on a major award show and everybody kind of laughs nervously and they're all famous, like, yeah. And who else made a joke like that? Oh, what's her face? Mrs. Kurt Cobain. I can't think of her name. The one that's the lead singer for Hole. I can't think of her name. The crazy blonde chick. Yeah, she made that statement one time. Kind of a joke, but kind of a dark joke. If if I had to give advice to any young actresses coming up, don't take a meeting with Harvey Weinstein or something like that was the joke. But she was a little serious about it. So I think Harvey maybe made a move on her, or God knows what else. So I think if he ain't guilty, he's probably guilty of something. And you got to think, how bad do you have to be in Hollywood to end up in prison for banging starlets? I mean, this is a guy who, I mean, with his kind of money and clout, he didn't need to do that to anybody. There's plenty of guys in Hollywood. They do okay. And they're barely on the radar as producers. And nobody has to pressure anybody to do anything. Because, and again, I don't say this to sort of denigrate actors, but, there's a long history of actors having sex with people because they are super good looking, and I'm sure they like to have sex too. So it's kind of like a thing like, if I was that good looking, and I don't know, Kathleen Kennedy came to me and said, listen, I'm going to put you in Star Wars, but I'd really like to have sex with you. And I think to myself, well, she ain't that bad looking. And I want to be in this movie. All right. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about what Harvey did. I think that's dark and crazy. But I'm sure there's plenty of actors who are just like, yeah, all right. As long as we, don't get weird about it. Anyhow, Carter at Arden, it's true. She announced it on Tim Dillon's podcast this week. Perhaps she's just saying stuff like Ann Coulter does every day. It's seemingly, in my opinion. Owens is extremely well spoken. She is. Arden, is she Jay Spurging? Yeah, kinda, I think. There was a small Asian who recorded him being a creep. Courtney Love, right, Courtney Love. Oh, Filbert Coffee Esquire is here. Everybody put on a suit. Weinstein was evil, but at least we got attractive girls in the movies then. Yeah, but he wasn't the only producer in Hollywood putting hot chicks in movies. I know, people say that. That's like a meme, but look, Harvey wasn't the only guy. They were all doing it. Now they're all not doing it because they're all wimps. If Harvey was producing still, trust me, he would be doing what everybody else is doing. I would guess. Ardent at Filbert. Yeah, but at what cost? Ardent, I mean, she got some rough sex, but sure. Harvey's heinous, man. I mean, he's gross, in my opinion. Big, ugly, fat, old guy. That's gross, man. I mean, it'd be different if, he had some, like Hugh Hefner, all the Playboy bunnies come out now, and they're like, oh, I had to have sex with him. Like, that wasn't part of the deal. But, Hefner, he took care of himself. I mean, up until, the last 5 years, he looked all right. I mean, for a dude. Filbert, I'm not condoning him. Yeah, neither am I. He's ugh. Ardent, I know. Just kidding, Phil, says Ardent. Filbert, rather was doing it too. Oh, Ratner was doing it too. Ardent, it's been a known thing for generations. The rough sex was what I'd give KK for a part in Star Wars. Viagra overdose kill Hefner. Possibly. I mean, you'd think his body would be immune to it by that time. How much did he take? Like an entire crate? Been taking that stuff for a while, I gotta imagine. But yeah, Thunderbolts is like the second worst Marvel movie premiere. Of course, the trades, which we'll see a little later, are touting it as, oh, it's doing pretty good, just as expected. This isn't good. 162 mil was predicted. I mean, this was right on the money for the predictions. But that's not great, because this movie cost 180 mil. I read 100 mil to promote it. Roughly 400 to 500 for it to be profitable. Ardent, why do you think the coffin had an extension? Is this a joke? Oh, you're talking about Hefner. Ah, I get it. No, see, they couldn't close the lid. The lid won't close. I don't know why. Oh. So, Thunderbolts, I don't think it's going to make 400 million, even worldwide. And let's see if the Chinese... Yeah, the Chinese box office doesn't appear to be in yet. Oh, wait, nothing appears to be in. So I don't know if this includes China or not. If this includes China, I think this movie's done. Filbert, Thunderbolts just looks boring. Yeah, I agree. Well, for those of you who don't know, in the world of Marvel Comics, Thunderbolts was a comic that had a really, actually great premise. And the premise was a group of villains pretends to be heroes. And what Marvel did was Kurt Busiek wrote it, and they did this secret project where they launched Thunderbolts and pretended like it was a new superhero team. And everybody in the marketing department was in on it, and it worked. And people were surprised. I think, I don't know, 3 or 4 issues in, they reveal that they're actually villains. Or maybe it was the first issue, I forget. So it was all a big scam by the supervillains. So the title itself really is meaningless. It was just a scam by the supervillains to get over on the superheroes. And, you know, it kind of works for a minute, and then the superheroes eventually prevail. But it was kind of different and fun. Well, in the MCU, those villains don't really exist like they did in the comics. So, like, one of the villains was Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo is in the MCU, but he's not really a threat in the MCU. People barely know who he was. He appears, I think, in Civil War and a couple other places. Because in the comics, the dynamic is a little different. So you'd have to put the MCU villains in it, and a lot of them are dead, or they wouldn't get the actors in them, and this concept wouldn't work in the MCU. It just wouldn't work. However, the trademark continued, and since the comic was popular, Marvel kept, beating that dead horse, and they eventually swapped out all the villains for heroes, sort of, I guess, and then they thought, oh, we'll make this a Suicide Squad thing. I think it just looks terrible. I mean, I hear the guy who plays American Patriot is pretty good, but there's too many characters. Should probably be at least 1 or 2 less characters. It probably should not have included Florence Pugh, who, second-rate Black Widow. If I had to pick the Thunderbolts from the current MCU lineup, and a lot of it's dependent upon Disney Plus shows. I would have put Moon Knight in. People seem to like the show, and Oscar Isaacs has got a little box office draw. And he would have been different. I hear Lewis Pullman's good in it, but it's hard to tell because a lot of that comes out of the trades, and I think they're just trying to find a silver lining in this. Ardent, it looks like more canon disregarding Drek to me. Oh, it totally disregards canon in the comics, that's for sure. Now, in the movies and TV shows, it doesn't disregard it, but it kind of doesn't matter because the TV shows and the movies are in the toilet, and most of these characters, like, I can't stand David Harbour. I mean, I just can't stand him anymore. To even look at him is just annoying. Sebastian Stan is still kind of cool as, Winter Soldier. Kind of, you maybe could have made something out of him in the American Patriot. And, I don't know, maybe Florence Pugh. Who? But, The rest, I mean, nobody knows who Ghost is. I think she only appeared on TV. Um, Filbert, I never heard of it, and do you need to have seen the last 10 movies to know the story? I kind of. I think you need, the problem is you need to know Disney Plus TV shows to know some of the characters at all. And you need to have seen probably the Black Widow movie, which didn't do well. So that's a terrible movie to launch another movie off of. Ardent, they did a pretty good job adapting Thunderbolts in the Avengers cartoon, actually. Oh, cool. At Filbert, kinda. Filbert, that Florence Pugh, who? Kinda looks chunky to be athletic. Yeah. Yeah, well, she's actually not that chunky. She looks good when she's dressed up, but that outfit is not doing her any favors. And she looks completely bored in every frame of this thing. I've seen clips in the trailer, but not the movie. But every frame, she looks bored. She looks like, oh, is this almost over? Can I get my check now? I mean, she really looks that way. LeMay is here. Hello, LeMay. Welcome. Ardent, Florence has an extremely short neck for a woman. That might be her costume. Ardent says, hey, LeMay. Filbert, damn, the YouTube commercials are annoying. The Indians ruined it. I don't know. I can't see them. I also can't turn them off. I set them to the lowest possible rate. Ardent, third-rate Black Widow, Natasha, Rachel Weisz, and Pew. JEC is here. Hi. Hi, JC. Carter, Zoomers love Florence Pugh. Who? Maybe I'm a guilty Zoomer. I mean, I don't think she's that bad. I just don't think superheroes are the right place for her unless she was the hot piece girlfriend of, like, I don't know, Steve Rogers or something. That could have been cool. Or give Sebastian Stan a girlfriend. That's what they used to do in the comics. They would give the characters girlfriends and they'd be hot. And men would read the comics. Gee, I wonder why the girlfriends were hot. JC, how much did Thunderbolts mac? Well, it macked about 76 million domestically, 86 million internationally, 162 million altogether, which is the second lowest MCU opening. I guess that's right behind Marvel's. I think Marvel's is the lowest. Ardent, hey. JC, I think Ghost was in Ant-Man 2. Oh, yeah, you may be right. One of these characters, though, is from TV. The other one that's not Ghost, not Taskmaster. She was in the Black Widow thing. And spoilers, I think the Taskmaster gets killed like 10 minutes in. I think she's just a total, red herring. So, actually, it's 5 characters, but... Ardent, watched Constantine with Reeves and Weiss over the week. Still good, and dear God, Rachel Weisz is still a smoke show. That is a surprisingly decent movie, and I was a big original Constantine fan, and I didn't want to like that movie, but I have to admit it's pretty good. And I have to hand it to Keanu Reeves for not trying an accent, because it probably wouldn't have been great. I mean, he tried one in Dangerous Liaisons, and it was kind of a disaster. But he's good at it. Yeah, I didn't mind it. But I still would have loved to have seen, and now he's too old to do it. I would have, the character was modeled after Sting. And Sting in that role would have been insane. Would have been absolutely insane. Ardent, second Ant-Man was Ghost, yeah. Hot comic girlfriends, Black Widow, Black Cat, Mary Jane, Karen Page, Elektra. Filbert, Gwen. Oh yeah, Gwen Stacy. They all looked similar, to be honest, says Filbert. Yeah, and look at the costumes on these guys. They're all dark. Like, it's this race to get black leather costumes on every actor to look cool. And then you look at the poster and it's like, it's just a mesh of grays and blacks. That looks terrible. Looks terrible. These don't look like superheroes or supervillains. At least if the costumes were colorful, it'd be kind of wacky. If you're trying to go for the wacky sort of Suicide Squad kind of world. And I think that's what they were going for, but there's too much politics in the world of the MCU, I think. That's the main problem. They got way too deep in politics. I mean, look at the Cap 4 movie. They got the President of the United States as a superhero. It's dumb. So they got all this politics in there, and just, you know, they got to get back to basics and fighting crime and stuff. Suicide Squad was cool because they were all letting all the characters out of jail and killed a bunch of them, bunch of no-name characters nobody cared about. It was fun, and it was goofy. This movie doesn't even look that fun or goofy. Ardent, same, loved Hellblazer comics. Matt Ryan's TV Constantine was arguably a better interpretation in a more poorly written adaptation. Filbert, every Marvel female has the same cup size too. Ardent, I think David Harbour's Red Guardian should have been played a little more serious. The character was an admirable figure in the books. Yeah, but to me, once Black Widow did a lot of damage to the MCU in hindsight. Because first, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, never got her due. She deserved a movie before they killed off the character. So going back and doing the movie after she was dead was just pointless. It was just pointless. If anything, they should have resurrected her somehow. They can do it. And it would have been fine. Filbert, what I found passe in Marvel is that the whole universe is at stake in every movie. Yeah, that's a real problem in comics, actually. Because, you know, once you raise the stakes to, I got to save the girl, I got to save the city, I got to save the state, I got to save the country, I got to save the planet, I got to save the galaxy, I got to save the universe, I got to save the multiverse, I got to save all of creation since the beginning of time. Where do you go? Which is why you should keep the stakes as low as possible for as long as possible. And only raise those stakes in extremely rare instances that feel rare, that you can get out of it and go back to the low stakes afterwards. But even in comics, and this started in '85 with Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was a huge hit, and it was actually a really good story. But the point of the story was to clean up the DC universe and go back to like normalcy, because the continuity had been so wrecked over the years. Instead, what happened, it set the precedent for, we got to do crossovers. This was a big hit. So then came the Secret Wars, and then Marvel beat crossovers with a stick until it was dead. And DC eventually started doing the same thing, of course, 10 years later. JC, I hear it's okay, but pretty mid overall. Bunch of characters most people don't know or care about. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. It feels the Marvel zombies who are still clinging to hope that the MCU is going to come back to quality feel very desperate in there. And I got to tell you, what's feeling more and more desperate every day is Doomsday. Holy crap. They're just jamming it. There are now 60 characters in Doomsday. 60. 60. Is this movie going to be 40 hours long? Ardent, the Netflix shows Street Level Heroes were a refreshing thing. Next step up, I must save God. Yeah, I mean, and they've done that in Preacher and in some of the Vertigo books, although it was, it was written by hardcore atheist types who really, really had some problems with religion. Some of it was okay and just outrageous, like, Preacher, but a lot of it was just, all right, we get it. You're in college. Shut up. Shut up and tell me a story and entertain me. So, Thunderbolts, like, this feels to me more like a TV movie, if anything else. Probably should have just went right to Disney Plus. Aren't it 60? Why? Nobody learned from Spider-Man 3, huh? Well, Spider-Man No Way Home, it was a good movie. It did really well. And, or you're thinking of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that got a little cluttered. I think the reason that got cluttered is because Harry Osborn's character came off very cringe in that one. Sandman came off well, and there wasn't enough time to really introduce Venom properly. Arnett, LOL, entertain me, college atheist boy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, these characters can only do so much. This movie probably would have been okay on the Disney Plus, as a topper to all their wacky TV shows, if they had used all TV characters. But we'll get into Doomsday later, and I'll rattle off that list of characters. And some of them you're just going to be like, oh my God, why even bother? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this fares next week. I predict it's going to drop like a rock. I'm going to say this is going to drop by at least 65%. Because the only thing worse than a bad review, like Snow White, is a meh review for a franchise like this. Because that's going to signal to everybody, oh, I can wait till streaming. I'll just wait till it streams. And so a lot of people just won't rush to see it. And this spells doom for the Fantastic Four. Like, doom. Like, Disney's going to go back and edit Pedro Pascal and the other three morons right out of Doomsday. It'll be so bad, I think. But I think it's probably too late for that. Because it's all tied in together. So they're committed to their dumpster fires. I think Doomsday just sounds like it's going to be confusing. It's going to be cameo after cameo. And people, the normies are going to be like, who's that? And who's that? Like, if I took my girlfriend, she would never go to that movie, by the way. But if I took her to Doomsday, she'd probably just sit there and go, who's that? Oh, and who's that? Well, why is he there? Because she doesn't read comics like normal women. And she's just not going to know enough of the characters. And they won't be on screen long enough for her to even, like, be able to process. Because there's going to be 60. I mean, look, that's like let's say, that would be, if the movie's 2 hours long, that's 2 minutes a character. It reminds me, if you ever read The Tick is a great comic, by the way. It had a bit where the Tick goes to New York City finally, because that's the place where superheroes finally go to hit the big time. But there's so many superheroes in New York when he goes, they're reduced to fighting crime in shifts, and there's so many of them, they each get assigned a block for like 45 minutes, and that's all the time they get to fight crime, and then somebody else has to come in. So the superheroes are let out, and they're like, does anybody know any crime? I've got to fight crime. And they're like running around looking for crime for their 45 minutes, and then it's up and another team comes in. It's really funny. Ardent, why T-Mobile is getting wacky? I got an ad, and when I skipped it, the screen came back all wonky. Are you watching on your phone? Oh yeah, why T-Mobile? I guess you are. Carter, the Fantastic Four was doomed from the start. Also, I thought it wasn't connected to the main MCU. Well, technically it's in an alternate universe, but they're going to be in Doomsday, and I think the idea is they're going to bring them all in, right? So it's all going to be like... So, like, in order to make the Fantastic Four original origin kind of work, they're going to be from this alternate universe, which is not a bad patch because, at least then the Fantastic Four came up and were really big, which is the way they should be presented. But and then, you know, they'll be in our universe and everybody will be like, who are they? But I just don't think the movie's gonna fly. I think it's just gonna be DOA. Ardent, well, clearly normal women suck. On phone while smoking back at the PC now. JC, they need to go audition for a superhero license like people who play music in the subway. Yeah, The Tick, highly recommend if you're a superhero fan. Very funny. Thunderbolts, not so much. Like, maybe if you did a big send-up of superheroes, like, say, that I did at Superfrat, at superfrat.com, you could have fun with it. Now's the time, again, for Superfrat. Now that finally the woke tards are starting to fade, perhaps now I can finally get Hollywood to make Superfrat and pay me a gazillion dollars about a superpowered fraternity where they use their powers incredibly irresponsibly. Drink beer, get laid, fight crime. Superfrat. All right, so that was Thunderbolts. A disaster. What's not a disaster is Sinners, which drops from 1 to 2, but it was at the top for 2 weeks in a row. And let me tell you something. This movie's got legs, baby, because last week it barely dropped at all. So almost the same audience went to go see it again, and they put it in more theaters. Third week, it's only down by 28%. This movie, every indication is screaming, you should probably go see it. It is set to become the highest-grossing vampire movie of all time. I think that's a bit early for that. I think Blade made a lot more, but I don't think they're counting Blade. Dr. Ziggy is here. Welcome, Dr. Ziggy. Oh, some new faces. Tony D, so good to see you. Haven't seen you on the Lotus Eaters in ages. Any thoughts on the new Asterisk Netflix series? I thought it was great. Well, I haven't seen it, but it looked cool. It looked very cool. I sort of know Asterisk. I mean, I know of them. I didn't really read them, but I hear good things. It looks fun, and the movie looks fun. So maybe I'll have to check that out. But welcome, Doc. So yeah, Sinners. All indications say this is Ryan Coogler's best movie, and I'm kind of not surprised because Michael B. Jordan is a really good actor. So if he hits upon a good script, and apparently he has, him, Michael Jordan together, and he doesn't woke it up. It takes place in the 1920s. Can't really woke that. I mean, you could, but I don't think he does. I think they're in good shape. JC, just got an ad for that Thai massage parlor. Alarming how Google knows how horny I am, especially since I use Bing. Wow. Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. Sorry about all the ads. I don't know. Did YouTube decide to put extra ads on tonight? I swear I put it on the lowest possible setting for ads. Anyhow, Sinners, looking good. I'm surprised the international box office is so low, but I don't think this is, they can't open in China because the Chinese, they don't like vampires, and they also don't like black people, apparently, at least in communist China. So that's unfortunate because this is apparently, I want to see this. I mean, I'm definitely going to see it when it drops on streaming, but I'd like to go see it ahead of time. The budget was $90 million. It's way over that. It more than doubled that. So I think it's definitely money. Dr. Ziggy, thank you for the warm welcome. You got yourself a new subscriber. Hope all is good in life, D. Oh, smile. Thank you, Dr. Ziggy. JC. The Sinner haters are saying it's current year version of Get Out. I didn't get that vibe from it, but I didn't say it. Current year version. I don't see how it could be Get Out. I mean, it's got vampires in it. I don't know. Carter Chain at JC. Go to horny jail. You're clearly out of control. LOL. Dr. Ziggy. Sinners is currently playing here in Serbia. Oh, wow. You're in Serbia. I might check it out. Looks interesting. Wow. I'm surprised this movie made it to Serbia. Oh, be careful in Serbia, Dr. Z. How are things in Serbia these days? Last I heard it wasn't great. But then again, who am I to say? I don't live that far from New York. It's only 9 minutes away. Not that I would go there anymore. And just across the bridge from Philly, where I also won't visit. But yeah, I want to see Sinners. And I definitely going to see this probably on streaming. Is a Minecraft movie. I just got to know what it's about. It's probably the stupidest movie around, but I mean, it's doing well. And I feel like even though it's stupid, it's kind of genuine in its stupidity. It's at 873. You're not going to make it to 1 billion. But they might try to keep it in theaters until it does. They're definitely going to do a sequel to this thing. You're at 13.7 million this week. Nah, there's no way you're going to make it to 1 billion. Next week, you do maybe 7. If international does 7, that's 14. That puts you at, well, you definitely cracked 900, but I don't think you're going to make it to 1 billion. But another movie with serious legs in its 5th week, and it's still the 3rd highest grossing movie in America. That's pretty good. LeMay is here. I heard, I already said hello to you. I heard there are a lot of memes. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Dr. Z. Like any relationship, it's complicated. You would be surprised to hear that even Sound of Freedom played here in some theaters. I could see that because, I mean, from an audience perspective, I could see that an audience in Serbia, you know, the trafficking is pretty universal. And that kind of crime, people know about. It's everywhere. So I could see that. And it's got, like, you know, that religious tinge to it. So I could see that doing well there. Sinners, I mean, it's a horror movie. Horror does translate. JC, if they leaned into destroying the theater chicken jockey meme instead of shaming the children for expressing themselves, they would have made 1 billion. Well, Warner Brothers actually did. They were trying to promote it as a sort of an event movie against Thunderbolts. I think they wanted to hurt Thunderbolts this week in particular. So if this thing had come out against Thunderbolts, Thunderbolts would have been dead in the water. But I feel like Disney has more pull in the distribution end. Probably because they're the biggest studio and probably control a lot of it. Number 4 is The Accountant 2 dropping from 3 to 4. This is at 9.4 million. JC, all I know about Serbia is what I learned from that one documentary, a Serbian film. Is that a real film? So The Accountant 2 in its 2nd week dropping by 61%. That's not good. That's not good at all. But I'm kind of not surprised because it is on Prime. So why go to the movies when this will probably be on Prime for free? It's probably not free now, but in a few weeks. I still didn't see the first one. I wouldn't mind seeing them. it's just not super on my list. 54 million for a budget of 80 million. Not great. Not a total disaster. JC, yes, it's a real film. Play the trailer, Tony. I don't know if I should. Dr. Z, oh, you poor soul, JC. I hope you're doing well after that documentary. I don't know. What is this? What is this? Documentary. Serbian film trailer. Am I going to regret this? I can't play the music. So, all right, he's walking. All right. I guess I should stop it once in a while. I get flagged for playing trailers in my regular videos, so I guess I should stop it once in a while and talk about it. He's just walking a lot. JC, I'm doing great. Investigate a Serbian film 2010, Tony. All right. He's just walking and walking. Seems like a lot of walking in Serbia. Do they not have cars, or do they just have big lawns? He's just walking and walking. I assume the music. All right, now he's in a car. All right, now he's got a tattoo of film on his neck. So I assume there's some dialogue. Is there? Can I put on it? No, there's no closed captioning. Ardent, as long as you're talking over it, it should be fair use. Okay. Put it into your ear. All right, looks grim. Filbert, looks great so far. I know, exciting walking. All right, so he's putting this into his ear. I'm just going to keep stopping it and talking over it so I don't get flagged. And now he's pointing. He gets out of the car. JC, you picked the lame trailer. LOL. Okay. Well, how many trailers are there? Okay, now he's being filmed. I don't get it. Ardent, also, if you've never seen it, check out Sock Baby. I think I've heard of that. Dr. Z. It's very interesting film to say the least. Highly disturbing and very, let's say, political in themes. All right. Well, maybe I'll just go watch it. I will just go watch it then. Filbert, this is more boring than my real life. All right. Well, we're done with that. Apparently, I picked the lame trailer. All right. Number 5 is Until Dawn. Still at number 5. Premiered at number 5. Now dropping by 53%. 3.8 million. This is a video game movie. Kind of doesn't surprise me. It's still in the top 5, but yeah, it's well, it only cost 15 million, so I don't know. It looks dumb. It's based on a video game that I didn't play, which is based on a bunch of slasher movies. So it's a shadow of a shadow, back to another shadow, back to a shadow. Like, Ardent, probably me. I loved Sock Baby. Doug Tenapple, he did Worm Jim was behind it. Ardent, the entire series is on YouTube. All right, check that out. Number 6 is The Amateur, going up from 7. 1.8 million in its 4th week. This looks decent. It looks more like a streamer. It's Rami Malek doing a guy who's in the CIA, but he can't kill people, so he uses his clever nerd skills to kill people, to avenge his wife. JC, my plan ruined by them trying to be pretentious about a Serbian film 2010. Jeez. Number 7 is The King of Kings, the animated thing, in its 4th week. 1.6 million. Ardent, more of an you're on your own time thing to check out. It's a bit long to cover on the stream. Okay. Angel Studios did this animated thing. It's doing pretty good for them, from what I understand. I don't know. Again, I don't know how many books of the Bible before they're just going to run out of books of the Bible that are interesting enough to put to film or cartoon. Number 8, Warfare. Heard some decent things about it. 1.2 million. I don't know. It's kind of like War in Real Time kind of thing. Looks alright, I guess. Feels like more of a streaming. Number 9 is The Legend of Ochi. Looks terrible. William Dafoe's in it. Never thought I'd say that. Dr. Ziggy, I feel the theater experience is dying in the USA. However, it's still going good in Europe and other countries, but I may be wrong. I get the similar vibe because I feel like Americans, we have too many distractions, and in places in Europe, you don't have as many. We just have, an embarrassment of riches, as they say. So we have just so many things to do and see, and so movies are just another one of those things, and they're just getting hammered. The lockdowns hammered them. The studios themselves have made a lot of bad moves. The theater chains haven't helped. It used to be, in my day, there would be movie theaters. There were quite a bit of mainstream ones, but there were a few mom and pop ones. And then there were second run movie theaters. And these were ones used to show movies from last year and cult classics and horror movie. You could do little film festivals and stuff. But now those theaters can't survive on the secondary market because everybody just watches stuff at home. There's a handful of guys who do screenings of weird movies in select locations, usually on college campuses, and they're kind of cool. But a lot of the theaters are gone, and all the mom and pop ones are gone, at least around me. So you're relying upon these large movie chains, and what happens is we had a regional chain, which was an art house chain called, it's still around. Oh God, brain is going soft. I always get so tired on these streams. What the hell was it called? I forget. Anyhow, they had two art house theaters in Philly, and they were doing so well. They opened one near me, and they would show art house movies on like 4 screens, which was about all they showed in Philly, although I think one had 6 or 8 screens. So they'd show like 4 to 6 art house films, and they had playbills, the whole thing. They had high-end snacks. They had a coffee bar. It was cool. But they couldn't get enough people to come to the art house movies, even in my neck of the woods. I went, but a lot of other people wouldn't go. So slowly they switched to mainstream movies to keep the place open. And it turned out it was too big of a, situation for them. It was just, the theater was too big. It had too many screens. They weren't getting enough people. And eventually they sold it off to one of the chains. And now it's been through 4 different owners, all big chains. I think the AMC finally got a hold of it. And the sad thing is, they used to have this cool lobby with the coffee bar, and the lobby's still basically there, but they don't want to encourage people to hang out anymore like they used to when they first opened it. Like, the idea was to create a lounge atmosphere and people would hang out and talk about movies. But it kind of didn't work. Me and my friends were kind of the only ones who would do that. And they even had magazines and newspapers you could just read for free. But all that's gone. It's all been like covered up because they don't want people. And they covered up the coffee bar too, which sucks. And now they have the same old crap snacks. And it's basically just another one of the chain theaters. It sucks. So that's unfortunately the state of movies here. And the lockdown really hurt things. And even the big chains are now suffering. And there's no one to back it up. If AMC closes in my area, almost all the theaters will be gone. I don't know where I'll go see a movie in a theater if AMC closes its doors. It's ridiculous. Anywho, Ardent, at Dr. Zicky. Yeah, their Euro experience is significantly different than North America. Ardent, LOL, Genealogies, the movie, 18 hours of names. Yeah, that's the other books of the Bible everybody forgets about. JC, people never get tired of Jesus. I don't know. I feel like I'm already tired of him. I didn't even see half these movies. Indie Phantom is here. Oh no, missed box office. No, we're still in it. We're still in it, but you did miss Thunderbolts, and it's a mess. Dr. Ziggy. Also, the new format of releasing a movie, then 2 weeks later it's on a streaming service, and that definitely ruined it, and one of the main factors why movies aren't making much money. Yeah. But I think the bigger factor is I would rather go see it in a theater, but the theater experience is so horrible here. It's a half hour of commercials, no lie. That includes the previews, but it's still a half hour. And the commercials ahead of it, there's just no excuse for it. I avoid those on TV because now I don't even watch TV. But my God, you put them in front of the movie in the theater, like regular TV commercials. They're annoying, and you're trapped in the theater and you have to watch them. Sucks. Again, the snacks, they all suck. I hate the snacks at the movie theater. I hate all the cheap candy and food. The friggin' butter on the popcorn tastes like it poured motor oil, used bad motor oil on it, and it's just I can't even get a decent snack. I want one decent snack in the movie theater. I'll pay a little more for a decent snack, but my God, there's just nothing there. There's just nothing there. They really need to rethink things, and they haven't done it yet, and they don't care. So they're gonna run this thing into a ditch until somebody comes in and says, "All right, now we'll fix it." And I'd, watching the thing at home, it's a lot more comfortable. Filbert, I didn't know they released Pride and Prejudice 2005. That is one of the only movies I have watched over and over. Yep. Indy. I heard Thunderbolts was second worst MCU opening. Yep, after the Marvels. I believe so, yes. 76 million, that's pretty low for an opening. Dr. Ziggy, sorry, 2 weeks in a theater and a month later on streaming service. Poor wording on my part. Oh, no worries. Indie Phantom have 2 art houses here, but I only rarely get to them. They have superior popcorn. They usually do. Their movies in the art house world, sometimes they're superior. Sometimes they're just pretentious dreck. And that's another problem, too. People point at mainstream movies and say they're terrible. Man, the art house movies, a lot of them are terrible, too. It's the same proportion. The only difference is when it's a bad art house movie, people feel like, well, maybe it wasn't bad. Maybe I just didn't understand it. Just because you put a bunch of, weird stuff in it doesn't make it good. But some filmmakers do that. And sometimes that's just the marketing. Well, it wouldn't appeal to a mainstream audience, but we'll make it weird and pretentious and tell people it's an Oscar contender, and then people will go see it. Carter Jane, I remember the theater by my old house had a big arcade too. You could spend half a day there. Good times. Sad. Yeah, I miss arcades. That could be one thing that could bring the theater back. You could have an arcade, make some money. People would just play just because it's there. You could just do a whole movie theme. But someone needs to invest real money in it. Mostly, I think it's the food. I think if they invested in the food, if they got every theater in New Jersey a liquor license and served beer, oh yeah, people come flooding back. Indie Phantom, yeah, I will go back later for Thunderbolts report. A coworker took a pic of himself solo at a matinee. Holy cow. Dr. Z, popcorn in a theater, a loud chewy found in a theater. Also drinks with straws, also loud. I hate it. Oh, loud food. I mean, it's not like you'll die from starvation or get dehydrated for 2 hours. Like, come on. Well, the best food I ever had in the movie theater is there used to be a Chinese food place near one of the theaters near me. And I ran in there one night. We were on the way in, and I got dumplings. And I went in and I snuck them in. Man, they were good. I had some nice dumplings, and I folded up my box and put it on the floor. I didn't spill anything, but you know, it's America. We put our trash on the floor in movie theaters. Otherwise, why have an America? But it was delicious. I smuggled a pizza in one time. Indie Phantom. Yeah, and 80% of the time, I can already stream the art house title by the time they get there. Food prices need to improve. You know, pizza's dirt cheap. Theaters could cut a deal with a pizza place and just resell their slices, quite frankly. I would love to have a slice of pizza in a movie. But, you know, if you put some kind of real food place inside the theater, I think people would pay for it, you know? I would certainly get a slice of pizza. Now, I wouldn't pay... The most I'll pay for a slice of pizza, I mean, if it's really big, I might pay $5. You know, if it's okay. I ain't going above $5 for a slice of pizza. No effing way. It should be $3 or less. It should be $2, really. But these days it's very expensive. But if you had a guy making pizzas, I guarantee you people would buy slices of pizza in the movie theater. Oh my God, they would go nuts for it. JC, movie theaters make all their profit selling 50 cents worth of popcorn for 10, 20 cents of watered down cola syrups. Or for $10. 20 cents of watered down cola syrup for $8. Yeah, I know. That's a real problem. And people still are eating it here. I guess they're still making money. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Dr. Ziggy, I remember 25 years ago, some people were still smoking and drinking in the movie theater. Ah, the good old days. I vaguely remember that too. I remember sitting in the theater after they banned smoking and looking at the armrest and seeing the ashtray. And in a plane too. Ardent, it's been years since I was there, but the multiplex in the capital city had a bunch of restaurant outlets, Taco Bell, Pizza, A&W, etc. It was glorious. JC, maybe if you turn the movie theater into a hangout spot, spend the whole day there at major cities, you already kind of have that. Yeah, like, maybe if you incorporated it with the mall and the food court in some way, you know, you could subsidize the theater, and the idea being like, well, you're in the food court and you'd have, for instance, the major chains like you're saying, because even McDonald's food would be a huge step up for movie theater food, right? And you could say, all right, you pay us, you know, a monthly fee to offset the cost of the movie theater, and we'll sell your stuff there, something like that. And I think it would work, but you're probably right. It would only work in like major cities where there'd be enough people. Ardent, except that Taco Bell, I only ever had it once. It won't make that mistake again. No one over the age of 18 works at Taco Bell that I've seen. I will not eat at Taco Bell. The last time I went there, the service was so bad it made me angry and shouty. And that was like 25 years ago. I got so mad at Taco Bell. I had a friggin' meltdown. Plus, they don't really have meat in their tacos. I believe they describe it as a meat-like substance or something. JC, you'd have to market theaters different. Yeah, they need a whole rework, just like comics. Storebang is here. They still got any of them dollar slices up there in Times Square? I don't know. I ain't going to Times Square to find out, that's for sure. Dr. Ziggy, the last movie I watched in a theater was with a group of friends. We watched Nosferatu in January. The experience was really good. Did you watch a different Nosferatu? I'm just kidding. Indie Phantom, I don't smoke, but I would love to do it in a theater. Smoke looks glorious in a projection beam or projector beam. JC, there are some theaters here. You got fast food joints in the theater. Huh. Yeah, I don't think we really have that here. But they will. See, since everybody who works at the theaters minimum wage too, a lot of them just are totally tuned out. You can do whatever the hell you want, which is both good and bad. I can smuggle all the food I want into the theaters as long as I'm not too blatant about it. But then the theater experience, if you get into trouble and like somebody's having a fit or playing video games on their phone in the middle of the movie, you got no help. You got to take care of it yourself. What I did one time is there was I forget what movie I was seeing. It was a while ago. There was a group of teenagers sat right in front of me. They were being super loud and annoying. And finally, after the lights went down, they still didn't shut up. I leaned forward and I said, I hope you shut up for the rest of the movie. Like really in like a threatening voice. I forget exactly my wording on it, but it was mildly threatening. And then they all shut up. Carter Chain, careful about combining malls and theaters. You might see more monstrosities like the American Dream Mall in North Jersey. Well, it's North Jersey. I mean, they're known for monstrosities. Indie Phantom, our damn theater doesn't even have posters in the front lobby, and you pretty much have to check out showtimes on your phone. Ardent, yeah, I think Canadian law prevents Taco Bell from being super cheap. Their biggest complaint is a chain called Taco Time. A competition is Taco Time, which is arguably better. JC, I had Taco Bell once in my life, 25 years ago in high school. I watched them squeeze the meat in my taco out of a tube, and I never came back. I don't blame you. It's not meat. I don't think it's meat. Ardent, LOL, the last movie I went to was Deadpool. I'll never forget the woman ahead of me telling her kids, you wanted to see a superhero movie, right? Filbert, Coffee Esquire. The only way I would consider seeing a movie in a theater is if it was one that did not appeal to a certain troublesome people. Well, that's easy. Go to a movie for adults. Then there won't be kids. Dr. Ziggy, I think one of the longest projections I've ever seen in my town was for Oppenheimer. I was in the theater for a month. It was in the theater for a month and a half. I was shocked by finding that out. Every time it was a full house. Wow. The longest run I saw in a theater was Star Wars. I believe it was still in theaters almost 2 years later. I think it went over a year and a half. People used to see it like weekly. It was crazy how popular Star Wars was. And then it hit the dollar movies, the secondary movies, after it was done its run, finally. And then it was there for a year. All right, moving on. The Legend of Ochi, yeah, terrible. Looks terrible. Disney Snow White, also terrible. Not sure why it's still even on the list. It's number 10. Where are the movies? I know a few movies show up later on this list after the reports, but my God, how is Disney Snow White number 10 at $236,000? Doesn't make any sense. Get it out of theaters. Drop, which arguably looks good, $214K. It's in its fourth week. That's dropping like a rock, though. Ardent, I think it was Return of the Jedi for me. Captain America Brave New World. What is this doing in theaters? Why did they put it back in theaters? It looks like they put it back in theaters. Yeah, they put it back 55 theaters. Oh, there's another Marvel movie coming out. Oh, we still got that Captain America movie. Maybe we should put that back out. Well, I didn't see it. Well, let's do that. I can only imagine the decision that went in those 55 theaters. Indie Phantom. Star Wars was released in 78 with the dumb Episode 4 caption. Drop has already dropped online. Oh, really? There's Pride and Prejudice. That's number 13. 135K. God, these movies aren't making nothing on the bottom. And that's like half the list. Indie Phantom. No, I read that one. Dr. Ziggy. Just looking at this list, it's just funny and sad, but more funny, if I'm being honest. Ardent. Well, 4chan is dead, so someone must have Morbius Captain 4 from somewhere else. Indie Phantom. Disney is to blame for the decline of theaters big time. Do you have any specific information? Or you just think in general? JC, they're hoping you go see Captain America because Thunderbolts ties into it. Ugh. Ardent, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was better. That sounds fun. Bonjour Tritiste premiered in 228 theaters. This is an art house movie. I saw the trailer for this. It looks boring. It looks so boring. It's French. The Wedding Banquet. I forget what this one is. In its third week, 100K. This is, I think this is a South Korean movie. The Shrouds. Third week. I forget what this is about. That is the name of the family, the alternate family who birthed the Jersey Devil, by the way. Mrs. Shrouds. The Ballad of Wallace Island did 60K. That looks boring as F. The Friend. This is that Bill Murray movie. 36K. Don't know why it's still in theaters. I guess because Bill Murray's in it. A Nice Indian Boy. That's the gay Indian movie. Art house thing in its fifth week. Blue Sun Palace. No idea. 14K. Premiering new as Pavements. The 90s indie rock group Pavement. Oh, okay. Birthed in Stockholm, California, led by laid-back, inscrutable singer-songwriter Stephen Malkmus. I don't remember these guys. I remember hearing about them, but I couldn't pick out their song on a radio if you tried. It's in one theater. And what the heck is this? Vulcan Isadora. Looks like a horror movie. Two friends trudge through a Michigan forest with the intention of following through on a disturbing pact. Once their plan goes shockingly awry, the haunting consequences of their failure can't stay hidden for long. Well, that sounds kind of cool. It's a weird name, though. Vulcan Isadora. Might have to check out that trailer. All right. So that's it. 142 million. Indie Phantom. Disney keeps their unprofitable junk on screens and bullies exhibitors. F you, Iger. Well, that's no bueno. I don't know. I think maybe Fathom Events is changing that. Dr. Ziggy at Indie Phantom agreed. The interview with Tarantino talking about the Hateful Eight and Star Wars Episode 7 explains everything. I suggest watching that video if you haven't. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, they've got the dollars to do it. This is what corporate guys do. Indie Phantom. The Shrouds is a weird new Cronenberg, another director that keeps going beyond his glory days. I have seen it, Ziggy. All right. So 142 million is the week. Over half of that is Thunderbolts. Or is that's exactly half, isn't it? No, that would be 152. And Sinners, most of it's Sinners and Thunderbolts. So JC, Hateful Eight was the worst. Was his worst movie. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I didn't. I also didn't like Inglorious Bastards either. Um, it had such potential. I hate that one more because it could have been great. I feel like if Tarantino had spent about, all the time he spent on the subplot with the girl who moves to France to open a movie theater, I think if they spent that time showing us the Inglorious Bastards tearing across Germany, whacking bad guys from Germany, that would have been great. But it wasn't to be. Hateful Eight, yeah. It's just boring. It's annoying because it all takes place inside, and then he bragged about how he shot it on 70 millimeter and how you could show it in these giant theaters on these big screens. Like, why? Why do I want to see that? You barely showed any of the vistas. Like, you want to see in 70 millimeter, you want to see like mountains. You want to see planes. There couldn't be planes in that, but you want to see big wide open skies. And he was shooting a Western. He could have shot something, a couple of scenes outside. A couple. Instead, it's all indoors. It's all claustrophobic. Why shoot it in 70 millimeter? And why brag about it if you did? Doesn't make any sense. He is so trapped in the 70s, Quentin Tarantino. He apes things that guys in the 70s did just to save money. Like, there's no need to ape certain things from the 70s. They just did it because they didn't have the technology or the money to do anything bigger. And sometimes that, there were creative solutions, but not everything was a creative solution. JC, I liked Inglourious Bastards. Hateful Eight was just hateful and ugly. I didn't need to see Samuel L. Jackson grape a guy. I did like Kurt Russell's the only bright spot in that film for me. Indie Phantom, Inglourious Bastards is one of his worst. Not big on the Hateful Eight, and there is that weird Netflix miniseries version that is hours longer. Oh my god. Who the hell could sit through that? The movie itself's already long. It has an intermission. No. No bueno. I don't know. These guys, I think they just have too much money, too much time. They overthink things. They overdevelop things. And at some point, the studio goes, give us the movie. And this is what you end up with. Indie Phantom, QT I like, but as you say, he is too much stuck in the auteur era. Yeah, like, he was pitching Star Trek. Like, Quentin Tarantino at one point was trying to pitch Star Trek. Like, I don't know why they would give him Star Trek. That would be insane, but it would have been funny to see him try. But, TV, it's very... at the time he was pitching, it's very tight. You have to do things in a very sort of tight manner. That might help him. Dr. Ziggy, completely disagree. Love Inglourious Bastards. One of my fave movies. Hateful Eight is also great. If I had to choose the worst one, maybe Once Upon a Time. See, I like Once Upon a Time because I like Brad Pitt's performance in that. And I didn't think I was going to like it. I went in there with pretty low expectations. And I really like, DiCaprio is amazing in that too. But I think Brad Pitt steals the show. So both of them are just acting the F out of that movie. But it's not so much the movie itself, I guess. It's their performances they're just so on point. I wish they had a better script, but it was kind of interesting. Dr. Z, but for me, he doesn't have a bad movie, if I'm being honest. Just not as good as the other one of his movies, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I like Wes Anderson's movie, even when they're not very good, because I just sort of like their vibe, and I like the colors and stuff. But I get it. JC, extended version of Hateful Eight is half hour longer than the theater version. Ardent, I'd let Tarantino have a go at the Blade movie. Yeah, that would be cool. He'd be good at that. Because Blade would have the foulest mouth of any MCU character, I'll tell you that. Indie Phantom, Kill Bill kind of sucks, in my opinion. I kind of like Kill Bill because I like the action in it. I mean, after a while, it gets a little numbing. It's a little drawn out, but I liked it. JC, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is good, has pacing issues. Brad Pitt hadn't looked so cool since Fight Club, one of Leo's best performances. Yeah, when he has a meltdown, I think it's pretty good. It's like really convincing. Every once in a while, I kind of forget how good of an actor he is, and then I see him in something, and I go, wow, he's really good. Indie Phantom, I stopped watching most Wes Anderson after Life Aquatic. Yeah, I can understand that, because Life Aquatic is super uneven. I mean, they have that scene where Bill Murray pulls out the gun, and they're playing Search and Destroy with that Iggy Pop song. And that's sort of like the height of the movie. And then everything after that's like, shoosh. So he's got weird pacing issues in that movie. Indie Phantom, Kill Bill 2 is the slow one. Yeah, and he kind of sets up a bunch of stuff I don't think will ever pay off. I do love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Indie Phantom. Dr. Z, my mom loves Kill Bill, but she hates movies with gross violence. However, for Kill Bill, she loves it. Very strange. That is strange. JC, Death Proof is his worst movie. I don't think it should even count because it was meant as a JO for that Grindhouse double feature. Yeah, I mean, I like the Kurt Russell one a lot. And I forget the rest of it now. But, you know, and I initially liked the fake movie trailers in between, and then he made those movies, and I was just like, come on. What are you making those movies for? Couldn't you just have done something else? JC, I haven't seen Wes Anderson's last two movies. I like his films in general. Yeah, I mean, the Asteroid movie didn't hit. The newest one looks a little more focused. Like the Royal Tenenbaums, it centers on a family, so it might focus him a little more. Ardent, Grindhouse, Rose McGowan with a machine gun peg leg. Yeah, it's pretty over the top. Dr. Z, can we all agree that Jackie Brown is very underrated, though? I like Jackie Brown a lot. That's a good one. My favorite scene in that is when, spoilers, Robert De Niro kills his girlfriend because he's just sick of hearing her, and he just turns. Dr. Z, I read that one. All right, so let's move on to the trades. See what's going on in the rest of the world. Let's start with Fandom Pulse. May the 4th, how Disney corporate Star Wars Day represents a dystopian future of corporate rule. I don't know. I think it's just over. I mean, I saw people at the convention today. Now, I did a comic book convention today. And this is a new convention. It's a small one-room convention, one day, in a rec center on a Sunday. Weather was better than it was last year where it poured. It rained the second half of the day. So we had an okay turnout for the second time the show was done in that location. However, we had one of the fan clubs of Star Wars there in costume, like a stormtrooper. There was a stormtrooper and the guy in the black stormtrooper outfit that's like the pilot outfit, I guess. And they had a huge table and a whole setup, and it's just like, it was too much for that room. It was too much for that con. Like, if you're at a big con, Sure, they're fun, I guess. It's not my thing, but when you're at a small con and you show up and you do the costumes, it's like too much to me, you know. And they had a couple of fans showed up in costume, and they were wearing T-shirts with Star Wars stuff because it was the 4th. But it wasn't. You couldn't feel any vibe to it. Like there was no like, oh yeah, I'm celebrating Star Wars today. Like at a small con, I don't think that quite works. And just in general, the vibe wasn't about Star Wars. You know, normally if I did a con on May the 4th and it was a decent size, you might have a dealer and all he would have is Star Wars stuff and comics and whatnot. There was a couple of guys with Star Wars stuff. I don't think they did gangbusters, and we had a decent crowd, so. Ardent, Planet Terror was the movie with Rose McGowan. Sorry. JC, she wasn't De Niro's girlfriend. It was Samuel L. Jackson's girlfriend, but he'd effed her too. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was Bridget Fonda, by the way, who was a total smoke show back then. But recently she popped up. I didn't know she was married to Danny Elfman. She's married to Danny Elfman. She doesn't look super hot anymore, but. Ardent, LOL, yeah, I forgot about this. The White House tweeted out Trump with a lightsaber, a red lightsaber. Gonna have fun with that on Tuesday's show. Couldn't do my show today due to my first ever bout of laryngitis. Oh my God, I hope you're okay. Take care of that. Don't mess around with that. You can get an infection. The best was the Pope. Did you see the Pope picture of Trump as Pope? Pope Trump was hilarious. But the Trump with the lightsaber was funny because, you know, he had giant arms with like veins. And he was like, it was funny. JC, the people weren't jazzed up for Andor season 2? No, nobody is, because they put a grape scene in it for some insane reason. They thought, oh, no one's watching Star Wars. Maybe if we had someone sexually assaulted in this scene, people will go, ooh, let me see that. What kind of people do you think watch Star Wars? I mean, Jesus. Indie Phantom, Jesus HC, an obnoxious Jimmy Fallon ad just blew up in my face. Sorry about that. I don't know what's happening today with the ads. Seem to be more annoying than normal. Dr. Ziggy, it's almost 2:30 for me, so I'm going to head out and finish this beer. Got to work tomorrow. Good to see you, Tony. I'll catch you again soon. Also, chat, you're great guys. Have a good day, guys. Good night, Dr. Z. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. See you next week, hopefully, if you're up late again. Ardent, yeah, I'm good. Turns out Irish cream is extremely restorative. Oh. JC, yeah, the AI slot Trump means are cringe. I don't know. I like the Pope Trump because he was talking about that. But, my God, I mean, this still is from the Phantom Menace, which, in my view, sucked. It sucked a whole bunch of Star Wars D. But they're, you know, compared to the current level of suck, this is like Citizen Kane as Star Wars. But, yeah, the fans are not psyched for Star Wars anymore. They just kind of wear the shirts like it's their uniform. One guy had a Star Wars shirt that said resist on it, which I was just like, I don't know, dude. What is that all about? Is that being political, or are you doing resist the empire? I assume he was, but Indie Phantom says night Ziggy. Whoops, I skipped some. Ardent, just a heads up, mentioning it, don't say it. Oh, all right. Grape may catch up you on demonetization. Oh, come on, YouTube. I thought you were cool. Oh, wait, you're not cool. Ardent says also later. JC, grape scene in a spin-off show based off a children's movie about space wizards. Yeah. Ardent at JEC. They just want to deconstruct everything into nothingness. Correct. Indie Phantom. One of the lamest things is Anakin making C-3PO. Just awful. Yeah, I remember sitting in the theaters going, what? Like, the whole theater was just like, let's see. 10 must-read books for anyone fighting against the social justice and the culture war. So this would be the Pineys, books 1 through 17. Hey, why only 10 of my books? No, that's not what it says. I'll go through them just really quick. You can decide if they are based or not. Vox Days, SJWs Always Lie, Taking Down the Thought Police, City of God, St. Augustine, The Unhumans by Jack Posobiec, Rules for Radicals by Saul D. Alinsky. Well, this is really a book that the left uses. So to read it, what you're supposed to do is read it and not use their tactics. But a lot of guys on the right seem to be trying to apply them now. But it's good to know what your enemy's up to. Aristotle, The Art of Rhetoric, Machiavelli's Discourses on Livy, C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, Anti-Fragile, Things that Gain from Disorder. I've never heard of that one. F.A. Hayek, The Road to Serfdom. That's more of an economics thing. G.K. Chesterton, Orthodoxy. So, some based books, perhaps, if you're looking for some. Ardent, So Much. JC, JDA Loves Vox Dat. Ardent, Machiavelli's Sun Tzu Jung Heinlein? Vox Day. Oh, JC. Ardent, called Machiavelli. Come on, Marcus Aurelius. Nope, not on here. Not sure why not. JC, this reeks of books Vox told JDA to read. Well, it may very well be. The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender casting director, admits casting decisions were made due to woke ideology and DEI. This property just can't catch a break. I mean, they just keep making stuff, and they just keep somehow screwing it up. I feel bad, kind of, for the creator, I guess, but we'll not see. Ardent, because Aurelius makes you stoic. Exclusive, alleged plot leaks reveal Jodie Whittaker will be returning to Doctor Who at the end of the season. Okay, so enjoy that. Those of you who still for some reason watch Doctor Who and hate yourselves, I mean, the gayest show on the BBC, and it's like hyper gay. It's like turbo gay. It's like gay. It's so gay it's going back in time gay. But I don't think bringing back Jodie Whittaker is the solution. But you just keep hitting yourself in the face with a shovel, BBC. JC, I mean, the original cartoon was okay. Do you really need to keep rebooting The Last Airbender? Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing it. They seem to be unable to do it. Ardent, Jodie Whittaker, more like. I mean, did they just do a season of the gay guy just to say, okay, we'll make the show super terrible, then they'll have to like Jodie? Ardent, it's Inside Out Rainbow Guy. Yeah, I'm still waiting for them to turn the TARDIS into a giant dildo. Oh, probably that's not a good word to say on the stream either. All right, speaking of words you shouldn't say on a stream, woman who shouted the N-word at a kid, then the man trying to cancel her, raises nearly $400,000. Look, I don't know if you've ever donated money to people, but I wouldn't donate to her or the other dude, Carmelo Anthony. I don't know why people are. It's turned into a weird sort of virtual race war online. yeah, stay away. Stay far away, I say. For all we know, this could be a total scam. But I don't think it is. I think it's just some random that happened. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Should she be harassed in a park? No. No, she shouldn't. Should she shout the N-word at people? No, probably shouldn't do that either. Is any of that illegal? Borderline. I mean, the harassment might be little. The N-word, no, not illegal. But I don't want to support that. So let's just all calm down on this stuff. I think we should all just move on from it, quite frankly. JC, it'll probably be just a Jody cameo. No, the rumor is they're getting rid of Nkuti Gatwa. They're tossing him out. But we'll see. Hopefully they'll set up something else where they get a different actor and maybe go back to Sanity. I don't know. But you'll notice it's like only the gayest Doctor Who's get to come back, right? And Nkuti Gatwa, Jodie Whittaker. I'm sure David Tennant was like calling them up. Oh, can I come back? Can I come back to be a little more gay this time? But yeah, I don't know what the plan is over at the BBC, but it seems to be. Do we still have any audience left from the original show? Okay, how can we alienate them as quickly as possible? Ardent. Dildo is the name of a town here in Newfoundland. Jimmy Kimmel says it. You're good. Oh, okay, good. JC, who are these people literally giving away their money to own the libs? I know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you know, the other day I was watching a Razor Fist stream, and I had to get his opinion on a news story just because it was a heavy metal related thing. Oh, I got to tell you this news story. I don't know if I even mentioned it on Hollywoke Hot Tech. I think I did. So there's this guy who's in a black metal band, and he's considered one of the pioneers of death metal. And he died in a shootout with police, which is probably the most metal thing I've ever heard of. Not that I'm condoning it in any way or say you should do anything like that, but I was just like, holy F. So I had to know a Razor's thing on that. So I sent him $2 just for the super chat. And he didn't know him, but he was like, what? That happened? I don't follow that guy, but that sounds crazy. Was basically his reaction. Ardent, my issue with Hendrix is how she lost emotional control and put herself and her kid at risk. Otherwise, I don't care. Yeah, that's not good either. But apparently she is a sex worker. So I don't know if they're known for their level-headedness, I'll say. She's living that sort of life. Indie Phantom, my hot take, Doctor Who has always been awful. I did give it a try once, and no except had a cute girl. And no except had a cute girl. Well, I'm not sure what era you looked at. I mean, the show's been on for 60 years. I thought it had a lot of heart, and, you know, it was one of those shows. They didn't have a big budget at the BBC at the time throughout the 70s, so they did these creative things to try to do crazy science fiction where they had no effects. So I liked the Tom Baker years and before that, and a little bit after that. After a while, I got sick of it. Indie Phantom, Razor Fist rocks. He does. JC, I mean, she's just a white trash chick screaming the N-word on a playground. I mean, she's kind of my type, but I wouldn't give her any money. Godspeed, JC. Yeah, I've been there. I used to be very attracted to red flags. You know, like Britney Spears level of red flags, but, you know, I think I'm cured. It took many years, but I think I finally am cured. Ardent, nah, she's not a sex worker. There's a lot of slander around her. She's not single either. Oh, okay. So there's a lot I don't know, a lot of stuff going around. JC, I like Doctors 2 to 4. Don't like the 80s Doctors. Yeah, they're not as great. They were sort of like, you know, shadows of Tom Baker. Weren't really their own thing. I would agree with that. They were okay. I mean, but yeah, not great. HBO Chief says Harry Potter TV series is not secretly being infused with anything. Oh, that's a relief. I'm sure we could trust the executives at HBO not to infuse Harry Potter with anything. I mean, they only race swap Snape, but I'm sure they're not up to anything. We shall see. Or I won't, but I'll hear about it later because I don't really get into Harry Potter. Reddit reportedly removes creator and moderators from Horus Galaxy, an anti-woke Warhammer subreddit. So, again, stay off of Reddit. It's pretty much just for communists. Even the South Jersey subreddit got infiltrated by Antifa. They were making a bunch of noise about Jeff Van Drew, who was the Democrat in South Jersey who switched to Republican and became Trump's buddy. They hate him with a burning passion and have protested many of his fundraisers with their nonsense. JC, what kind of S work does she do? Does she work at that Thai massage parlor? I don't know. Do they have a good daycare there? Rumor, Avengers Doomsday script being written on the fly while filming, cast not solidified. If there's anything that spells doom for this movie, it would be that, if that is true. If that rumor is true, this movie is DOA. This movie won't even make any damn sense. But I don't think that's true. LeMay, she should not receive death threats, but she should not receive money either. Yeah, I agree. And she certainly has enough money to do whatever she wants now, get out of her life, if in fact that's what she's doing, and start a new life somewhere else where people don't remember her, in a few months after this blows over. JC, they're not secretly infusing anything. They're doing it pretty overtly. Yeah, I would agree. Ardent, I'm in 3 Reddits, one for woodwork, one on vexology, Vexiology? What is Vexiology? And one for Skyrim. Also unbelievably ideologically possessed. Yeah, it's weird. Ardent. Cast not solidified? Oh gods, they've gonna scrapbook this thing. 100% if that's true. If that rumor's true, they're already scrapbooking stuff. That is a disaster waiting to happen. Speaking of disasters, The Last of Us Season 2 linear cable ratings have declined nearly 20% in just 3 episodes. I can't imagine why. Did they didn't kill off a popular character or anything, did they? Vexillology. Flags. Oh, neat. I didn't know that was a thing. Indie Phantom, heard Doomsday is going to be the biggest budgeted MCU flick. Sounds about right. JC, one of the fringe benefits of working at the Thai massage parlor is all the free Asian nannies you could ever need. I had a friend, I'm going to tell this story. He actually worked for one of these places as the, I guess you would say, bodyguard. So, let me tell this story. It's funny. So, he lived in this building, which was basically a flop house because he liked to live really, really cheap. And the guy who ran it, he needed a job. And the guy who ran it would refurbish places for the massage parlors in Philly. And so, he would gut them after they had to move because apparently in that business, you're constantly moving your business because it's illegal and eventually you get raided and then you just move it, I guess. So he had all these buildings. And while they weren't being flop houses, they were massage parlor places. You know the kind I'm talking about, like the Thai massage parlor. So my friend's talking to him one day, and he says, "Do you want a job?" So his job was to sit in his car outside the massage parlor, and like clients would come up to the door and they would buzz them in. But if they were too drunk or they thought they were going to rob the place or they were belligerent, they had to warn the people inside, don't let them in or whatever, or get the hell out of there. So my friend loved the job because he also liked exotic food, and they were all Korean, and they made like super authentic Korean food every day for the girls, and then of course they invited him in to eat it too. And I was like, wow, that kind of sounds awesome. And then he said one time, the last day he was there, they did get raided. And I said, what happened? He said, well, I guess for some reason he was inside, and I'm not sure why. I guess he was eating his lunch or whatever. And they got raided, so him and this girl climbed out a window together and then walked down a street. They ended up on a street, and then she said, here, hold my hand and we'll walk down the street. And they pretended to be a couple, and that's how they got away. And he didn't get arrested. So, but then after that, he didn't do it anymore. But I thought that was funny. Ardent, doorman is a polite term for thug or for hose. Oh, damn, real Korean food? Where's the massage parlor again? It was in Philly. I think it's closed now. But yeah, I said, what were you going to do if you had to, would you have to beat up a guy? He said, no. And he was not a guy I would imagine could beat up anybody. Like, I mean, he could kind of hold his own, but I wouldn't describe him as a thug. He said one time a biker came up to the door, and he was just gigantic, but he was so drunk he basically passed out on the sidewalk outside. I said, what were you going to do if there was like a real guy with like, you know, and they wanted you to go confront him? He said, I'd have left. I'd have just left. JC, if he was good at his job, he would have been able to warn them about the raid. Yeah. Ardent, a real Korean food and cheesesteak. Sounds good to me. Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed to May 2026. CEO promises it will be a groundbreaking blockbuster entertainment experience. So, I'm of two minds of this. Either things are going horribly wrong in the development stage or in the testing phase of this game, like it has so many bugs in it they can't even release it because it's just a mess. Or they're desperately trying to take the woke elements out of it. Maybe they did some sort of focus group and it was a disaster, and now they're going back and they're rewriting some of the dialogue or whatever. It could go either way. Or maybe it's just, the market's bad. And maybe they're just not finished. I don't know. Xbox explains price hikes for new first-party games. I mean, what are you going to do? They're hiking their prices. You can't stop them. A lot of people are just blaming tariffs on everything, but it's not really the case that tariffs have hit yet. I think they just hit for cars. But there's a lot of things. Razorfist pointed this out in the stream I watched. We have warehouses and warehouses of Chinese crap, like tons of it. It'll last for at least months. Some of it will last for years because it's stuff that people don't have a super hardcore need for, but it's piled up in warehouses in various places. And eventually it'll run out, but it's not going to run out anytime soon. And who knows what'll happen in the next few months. So we have in this country an embarrassment of riches. So I'm not really too worried about it. I'm more worried about the food situation more than anything. I want the food situation fixed. I want the farmers taken care of. All right, moving on to Variety. Thunderbolts ignites 76 million. See, they're like trying to make it out like they made a lot of money. MCU tentpole got the summer season off to a solid start. Bull. That is absolute bull. That's not a solid start. The second worst opening for an MCU movie? That's not a solid start at all. But that's the way it's being presented. Indie Phantom Theory, I heard they want video game price hike to get normalized and then release GTA 6. That could be it too. JC, I mean, GTA are insanely complicated games. People play them for literally 10 years straight. Yeah, I never finished the last one. I still have it. I've been meaning to go back to it. I just don't have the time. It's too complex, quite frankly. I want something a little more simple. I loved Vice City. I could play that all again if I could find it. I think I may have sold that one. But you could probably buy it for nothing now. LeMay, the tariffs are hitting China hard. The U.S. is just not buying. We have a backlog. Yep. And there's been protests in China, too. And when you protest in China, you know you're committed to possibly going to the gulag. So how bad do things have to be for a protest in China? Pretty damn bad that you're going to risk going to the gulag and maybe losing everything on a protest. Things must be pretty damn bad. So I think it's all part of the plan to squeeze China for everything. To get Apple out of there. I mean, one of the big things that has to happen, and we learned this during the lockdown, was we don't make our own aspirin anymore. The last aspirin factory closed in the United States. That's should be top priority to get a friggin' aspirin factory back online and running. Along with some of the other odds and ends that we don't make anymore, apparently. Why that happened, I don't know. It was just cheaper to make it overseas, I guess. But you got to give these companies a big enough tax break so that's profitable again, because we need to be making some of our own stuff. JC, I mean, you can get most of the same plastic junk from India or Vietnam, and those countries aren't existential threats to global peace. Yeah, but I'm sure there's a few items they don't make yet, or maybe the quality's not there. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Apple's making the move to India. So that'll be, once they get out of China, then their biggest competition will be the fake Apple phones coming out of China, which I'm sure they're going to start doing. But yeah, they're going to make them in India now. And I'm sure a lot of our business will move to India and Vietnam. LeMay, Apple is planning to move to India. Yep. Ardent, I have been avoiding Chinese products for years. Something about buying from a slaver economy doesn't sit right with me. I've tried, but it's nearly impossible here when you're broke. I mean, I had a pair of Nike shoes, but somebody gave them to me. So it was they were I got these brand new sneakers. They don't quite fit me. You want them? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they fit, and I wore them. So I felt like I didn't contribute to the slaver economy, but everything here, so much of it's made in China. Ardent, I have been I read that one. LOL, Chinese apples will be called lemon. Yeah, can't avoid everything. And that's part of the reason Hollywood's in such dire straits. They keep trying to appeal to a worldwide market like China, and that blew up in their face several times, and I think that's by design. I think the Chinese want to destroy Hollywood, or at least knock it down enough that they can take over or greatly influence the culture from that angle. I think Hollywood is stupid for trying to appeal to India. They can't mainstream movies to India, I don't think. Number one, I think India audiences like American movies. Not every American movie, but certainly the blockbusters. So there's no point in trying to pander to an Indian audience just to get them to watch it. They already like it for the novelty of American movies. You can't compete with their own movies from their own culture. That doesn't make any sense. A lot of their movies, and I've seen a bunch of trailers for them, and a few of their movies, they're complicated. I mean, it's a complicated country with like a dozen different languages and tribes and all this intrigue going on. The military is the police, and their men and women's relationships are different. I just saw part of a trailer. Let me see if I could say this without getting myself in trouble. So it's a man and woman, and the man is trying to hit on the girl or trying to woo her in some way, but she points out that he's much darker than her, and she doesn't like that. So that movie's not going to fly here, but over there, it flies for whatever reason. It's a completely different context. They're both Indian, by the way. They're not. It's not like it's a black guy and an Indian. But, it's just a different culture. You could finance movies there and let them make them and then make the money that way. But, is the Indian government going to let you do that? That's the big question. Indie Phantom, Thunderbolts sets box office ablaze, burns it to the ground. Ardent, India was pissed about Independence Day, aliens blowing up the Taj Mahal. Yeah, that's another thing. Things just hit differently in other countries. Like, we know that the Chinese don't like ghosts. You can't have ghost movies in China. That's just their thing. Humor hits differently. So they're only gonna take on certain things. LeMay, a lot of pirating. Yep. Ardent at Indie Phantom, Doomsday pisses on in the ashes. Oh, probably. Speaking of which, Robert Downey Jr., Channing Tatum, and new Avengers cast watched Thunderbolts amidst Doomsday filming. So cool, so fresh. Oh, come on. So cool, fresh. Ugh. SNL mocks Trump's first 100 days in office. Of course, because this is all they do now. Donald's the next pope. A pardon for J.K. Rowling, and Elmo is apprehended by ICE. Ha ha ha. Oh, here's the, speaking of Trump, here's the AI-generated image of Trump. I find it funny. Is that, oh, there it is. See the big vein in his arm? Ardent, so paid for. Indie Phantom, yes, Ardent. Did someone call for a pirate? Arg, matey. Walter Goggins was doing an interview, but shut it down because, I don't know. Again, this is about SNL. Because SNL made fun of the White Lotus TV show, which I've never seen. And they made fun of her because I think she's English and she has weird teeth. So they did a whole thing where she has bad teeth or whatever. And then they made fun of the Lotus show for whatever reason. And it became a thing. And then SNL apologized. And then I guess Walter Goggins blew his top over it. I don't know. Feels like an AstroTurf controversy or non-controversy. Ardent, Elmo was Canadian the whole time. JEC, AI slop is ruining S-posting. Not like the handcrafted memes of my day. Back in the day when I was posting a meme, we worked on it in the field for hours and crafted it. There was a craft to the meme. These days, you just ask the AI and out it comes. That's not meme making. That's not the way we did memes back in the day. Something else happened on SNL. I don't care. Lady Gaga did a free concert on the Ria's Coco Cabana Beach. Draws 2.5 million people. Wow. That's pretty big. I gotta say, that's impressive. I guess that's Brazil. in other countries, they'll just show concerts like that right on TV. Like, I remember seeing some bootleg Nirvana, and they just played it on regular TV. It was crazy. Ardent, back in my day, we had to carve out memes into granite with our fingernails. Oh, and we were happy to have that granite. Harvey Weinstein accuser Miriam Haley calls him an effing a-hole during cross-examination. I think she stormed out of that one. I think that's the one that she stormed out of. So he's still trying to get out. Imagine he gets out. Oh my God. JC, there's never any actual jokes. It's just show Trump as the Pope. Yup, that's what that would look like. There's no joke there. I think it's just, see, I disagree. Because it's a running joke. Because you can't just keep using Trump for everything and making him everything. And it pisses people off. And that's the funny part about it. It should be ignored. Like, if people on the left just ignored it and went, oh, it's just a joke, they would stop doing it. But because people get so pissed, because I saw no less than a dozen threads saying stuff like, this isn't right. This is the Holy Father. You're committing blasphemy by doing this. And people were just like, oh, shut up. Yeah, it's just a joke. So that to me is the joke is really the reaction. It's not the actual thing. More SNL stuff I don't care about. The Kentucky Derby. Sovereignty won the Kentucky Derby. One of the other horses' name was Journalism, which is weird, right? Sticks and Hammer pointed that out today. He calls it, oh gosh, linguistic, like linguistic memes, or linguistic, oh gosh, there was a word for it he had. It's like using linguistics to tell you things, kind of like memes. I can't think of the word he used, but because sovereignty beat out journalism. So it's like representative of the times. Indie Phantom, yeah, Trump memes are the new Chuck Norris gags. Yes. In fact, I'll have to make a mental note to make a Trump into Chuck Norris thing. LeMay, walking corpse and vengeful spirits are okay in China. I recently stumbled across a Chinese web novel with a necromancer gay protagonist. Then I find out there is an animated series. Wow. That's a whole lot to process there. I'm surprised they have a gay character, because the Chinese banned all sissy boys, they said. Chinese said it, YouTube, not me. On television there. So they banned them. All right. Is there any other things in Variety? I also find it funny that Variety even bothered to cover a meme. I mean, that's weird to me. Paul Feige says outrage against Blake Lively and Another Simple Favor drama is boring. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, Paul Feige, you haven't been on the right side of anything in a while, in my opinion. So, I mean, pretty much shot your credibility with me after you made that female Ghostbusters movie. So, I don't know if you're really helping the situation and her lawsuit. Ardent. Mnemonics. Yes, that was the word he used. Linguistic mnemonics. That might have been it. Linguistic mnemonics. Yeah, something like that. God, he says it every day and I can't think of it. That's how fried I am from the show. And it wasn't even that hard of a show. It's just all lifting I got to do. All right, over at Bounding into Comics. Bounding into Comics needs a better... I always want to scroll up and see the logo, but they don't have it. Indie Phantom, most boring than a Paul Feige movie? More boring than a Paul Feige movie? Yeah. Feige, sorry. I guess that's how you say that. DC Studios, Sergeant Rock, starring Colin Farrell and directed by Luca Guadagnino, is no bueno. It's off the schedule, so that's not going to happen. You know, I'm sure Colin Farrell does a decent American accent, but I think they need an American for this role. The weirdest casting choice was when they were trying to develop this for Arnold Schwarzenegger, of all people. Yeah, we have to go over the lines and get those Germans, boys. We Americans must kill the Germans. I mean, that was a legit thing. For years, they were trying to develop it for Schwarzenegger. It was just so insane. How are you going to do it with Schwarzenegger? With his German accent? He should be on the other side. He should be in the villain. LeMay, I was surprised too, but the book series is popular. Ardent, you need a big dude for Sergeant Rock. Yeah. Like, as much as I don't like him, John Cena would have the look, but I think he's a terrible actor, so maybe not him. You know, Dave Bautista, when he's off the gear, apparently. He's super skinny now. Ardent, Richson could play it. Yeah. I don't know if he would, though. You'd have to play him like super hyper American, and I don't know. He sounds super woke, that dude. Kind of turned me off the whole Reacher series. I still haven't seen season 3. Indie creators, veterans, and living legends alike flooded the Artist Alley at C2E2 in 2025, which I did not attend this time, but I've attended in the past. It's okay. The problem with doing these shows, you know, from a monetary standpoint, unless you're an artist, you really you can't sell enough product in Artist Alley. Artists can, because they can charge insane prices for their original art, but I can't make my money at an outfit like C2E2. If they you know, give me a table for nothing and pay my way, sure, but Ardent, if Triple H was a better actor, Richson, yeah. Indie Phantom, didn't realize Sergeant Rock was still going. Well, they want to make it a thing. I don't think it's a particularly good character to develop, because his shtick isn't that big a deal. I mean, it's just basically going to be a war movie. Now, if you're going to do weird war tales, then you might have something there. Weird war tales is kind of cool. Sergeant Rock is just, you know, it got weird after a while, after doing it for God knows how many years. They added G.I. Robot and all kinds of crazy characters, but Sergeant Rock himself is not all that interesting. I mean, he's cool enough, I guess. He was kind of cool later when Batman met him in that one story. That was kind of cool. That was like in the 50s. And they're chasing down the head bad guy from Germany down in Argentina. That was cool. But, yeah, I don't know. Ardent, let's go full Sergeant Woke and cast Elliot Page. There you go. Sergeant Woke. All right, boys. Let's get over the hill and see if these Germans will sit down and talk to us. All right, we've got to get this counselor up to the Germans so he can talk to them and tell them that violence is wrong. What else? More of the same stuff. Moving on to Hollywood Reporter. Oh my God, Pedro Pascal. Feinberg forecasts Scott's first read of the 2025 Emmys race. Does anybody care about that? I mean, God, people barely care about the Oscars. The Emmys? Television? Does anybody care about TV? They definitely don't care about the awards. Oh, I guess they're going to give Pedro Pascal an award for dying and destroying a perfectly functional show. Let's see. Ardent, didn't the Viking Commandos show up in Sergeant Rock? Possibly. A lot of weird stuff showed up. And Sergeant Rock, speaking of showing up, Alex Ogle is here. Evening, bigots. Cinema and TV are screwed. I'd settle for a passable Doctor Who, but that's not happening. You're damn right it's not. Ardent, let's go wait until you see the whites of their eyes before you tell them your pronouns. Ardent says, hail, Alex. What else? Charlie Scalise, actor on The Wire and The Sopranos, dies at 84. Godspeed, as Razor Fist would say. Nicolas Cage recalls the moment he could have died while training for The Surfer. It sounds like movie hype, but I'll allow it because it's Nick Cage. He might have done something crazy. Oh my God. Brazilian police arrest 2 people over plot to bomb Lady Gaga's concert in Rio? Who the hell would want to blow her up? I mean, I guess people just want attention. Indie Phantom says, hello, Alex. Oh, there he is. Charlie Scalise. I don't remember him. Samuel L. Jackson and Judge Judy honor sisters Tony Howard and Wendy Howard Goldberg at Women's Guild Cedars Cyanide Luncheon. Okay. How old is Samuel L. Jackson now? Ardent vegans? Indie Phantom. Did you mention The Surfer earlier? Don't think it played many venues. It wasn't on the list for the numbers yet. So I guess it opened, but we don't have any numbers on it. It probably just didn't get reported yet. So sometimes when I check the numbers like on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, you'll see there's like 10 other movies on the list that weren't there on Sunday. Blue's Clues star Steve Burns recalls making less money from the show than every waiter he knew. That's very sad, but not uncommon in animation. Alex Ogle, I propose the mandated casting of that cat that slaps its owner when he says her pronouns. I can't think of a film's released recently that wouldn't benefit from the casting inclusion. Yeah, that sounds good. JC, Samuel L. Jackson is 76. Well, he's going to old man luncheons, apparently. Alex Ogle, at JE, I loved him in The Matrix, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. Loved who in The Matrix? Arnett, Lamau, oh, I know. Samuel L. Jackson was in The Matrix? Oh, don't worry, there's some good news here. The Equalizer was canceled at CBS after 5 years. I don't know how it lasted 5 years. Oh, we're gonna redo The Equalizer. Oh, that's good. It'd be an action show. Who you got cast for the lead? Oh, Queen Latifah, an overweight woman, black woman. That sounds like completely wrong for the role of Robert Pakal, a retired CIA agent, or MI5. I think he was English. LeMay, also, have you heard of Kanye's new song? I'm sure there was some controversy. I don't know if I heard that one or not. I remember reading something about Kanye earlier in the week, and I just sort of shook my head and moved on. Alex. Oh, wait. Ardent. A reporter had confused Sam Jackson for Fishburne once. Oh. Alex Ogle. Jackson was interviewed by someone who mistook him for Fishburne, and it prompted a very indignant response. Well, that's kind of basic journalism 101, so I kind of can't blame him for that. Oh, Alec Baldwin's Rust was out in theaters this week. I forgot about that. That wasn't on the list either. So apparently that flops. Let's see if we got any numbers on that in this article. I mean, when you're comparing Thunderbolts to Rust, yeah, I guess Thunderbolts looks better, but... See, Captain America Brave New World had 88.8 opening. Sinners still doing well. Where is Rust? You mentioned Rust in the headline. Oh, here we go. The estimated gross is $25,000 in 115 theaters for Rust. That's super low. I mean, do the math. That's like less than, I think, $250 a theater. Yeah. What's that like? It's like 20 people a theater. Ardent at Alex Ogle. I think Jackson just enjoyed screwing with the reporter. Indie Phantom, 5 years. What do you need for viewership? 50 people? Yeah, that's what I would say. But apparently it did okay enough on CBS. JC, play Kanye's Cousins, Tony. We want your live reaction. The song is called Cousins. Listen to it live, Tony. I can't play music on the stream. I'll definitely get flagged for that. Indie Phantom, Rust is streaming too. Ardent, 2. The number is 2 for Rust. JC, was it worth it, Alec? Yeah, really. We demand the director's cut of Rust with the event. No, that would be dark. All right, here's what I could do. I could put on my headphones and react to Cousins a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole song. I hope this doesn't screw up the stream. Let me know if suddenly my audio goes out. I don't think it did. All right. Doing a lot of Kanye Cousins. All right. Is this going to be dirty? Oh, here we go. We got the lyrics here. All right. Now tell me if you can hear this. Okay, you guys can't hear it. Oh, boy. That's just enough. Captions? Yeah. I got the captions here. JC, Kanye isn't with a label. It's all self-released. He just put it on Twitter anyway. Not proper release. Captions? S. Arden. Indie Phantom. Cinematography and Rust looks on point. Alex Ogle, all quiet here. Okay. So you can read along too. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look how many times he says it in the song. What the hell is this? He's out of his mind, man. He is out there, isn't he? Indie Phantom can't hear, thankfully. Yeah, I heard those lyrics. Self-released. Says Indie Phantom. Holy cow. Alex Ogle, okay, that's enough. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's just move on and pretend this. Let's put this sordid incident behind us. Ardent, enough indeed. All right, getting back to what the important thing, movies. Mark Hamill criticizes Trump again, apologizes to Canada amid election results. Oh, I saw that one. That was on X or Blue Sky or whatever. JC, Rust has a fantastic cinematography. You'll watch it and think, it looks like someone died for this cinematography. Oh, dude. Come on. That's not nice. Louis Partridge emerges as contender in search for new James Bond. I don't know who this guy is. He looks way too young for James Bond. Is that a current picture? What's this going to be? Bond in training? I don't want to see that. It's probably going to be woke anyway. JC, you should just clip that 1 minute and post it on its own. Art at my eyes. Alex Ogle at JEC. Ha 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 ha. Indie Phantom. And now back to Clueless. Hamill seems to be warming up to Trump. Ardent. Oh, there's a great meme of Jedi Trump telling Skywalker he's his daddy. JC. He's too boyish. Yeah, way too boyish. Jimmy Bond, says Ardent. Yeah, it's way too young. Way too young. Alex Ogle. Bond is going to be turned into soy-fed Zoomer. John Cleese reflects on 50 years of Monty Python and the Holy Grail and comedy shifting landscape. Let's see. Comic review. Liefeld's Youngblood #1, 2025, a disappointing return. I don't know what you were expecting. Again, Rob Liefeld was one of the nicest guys in comics, but I never liked his art. So, and his ideas, they just all seem derivative of other things. So, I mean, I wish him well, but I don't know what you were expecting. Indie Phantom prediction: new Bond will be worse than Craig era, although I really hope not. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's going to Amazon, so either Amazon finally says, "Oh, okay," Jeff Bezos says we can go, base now that Trump's in and we're friends with Trump, or they just keep doing this. I don't know. LeMay, my comment is not showing up, but Kanye previewed a song on Sneeko stream praising the Australian painter. Don't play it on the stream. Thank you. Thank you for that warning. Yes, and I did see where he dressed up in black hooded outfits. Pretty nuts. Ardent, 50, F me, I'm old. JC, it's literally the same junk for the last 30 years. You think he's going to turn it around now? Yeah, I'm trying to think of a Liefeld comic I like. Well, I guess I like Deadpool now, but I didn't like it when it came out. But even that is very derivative. I mean, he's basically Spider-Man and Wolverine and a couple other characters kind of all mixed together. Oh, this was this week. Bizarre plot leak of Superman faces social media wrath both on and off screen. That, like, the whole focus of this movie is going to be a lot of social media stuff. I mean, look, I'm willing to give Gunn a chance. He is a good writer. If anybody can make it work, it's him. But, we'll see. I don't know if the social media angle is very fresh. JC, I have it on good authority that Kanye also gave his cousin... I'm going to stop saying that now before I get clipped again. Indie Phantom. Gotta fly. See you all next time. Hashtag super woke. Goodbye, Indie Phantom. JC, Mike from the Red Bar did a cover of Cousins, and it was brilliant. That's pretty funny. Ardent, yeah, if Superman plot rumor is real, it looks like Gunn is grinding a personal axe. I think he's on the internet way too much for his own good, quite frankly. If I was running the studio, I would have already had a talk with him and tell him, you gotta back off of that stuff. There's the article about Bill Maher's talk with Trump, which went well enough that he didn't trash him. Ardent, Kanye wasn't LARPing as a clanner. He was dressed like a European Catholic. Uh-huh. Deadline. John Voight has a plan to save Hollywood. But will anyone care? I don't know. Doubtful. I saw the trailer for his recent movie, and it does not look great. So, the main thing that needs to happen is it's not so much Hollywood as California, because that's where movies are made. But if they move it all out of California, well, that could help. God, the White House released another AI generated image of Trump, this time as a jacked Sith Lord. Yeah, that's the same one. That's after the Pope one. More of the same stuff. New York Catholic bishops denounce Trump's AI image as Pope. Do not mock us. All right. Getting to cosmic book news. Doctor Who. Ratings crash. Must be a day with a Y in it. More on Thunderbolts. Kevin Feige has 10 years of X-Men planned following Avengers Secret Wars, everybody. Oh, dear God. JC, so Superman is a stand for gun? Does Superman get called a P-DO after some old off-color jokes are brought to the public's attention? Possibly. Ardent, the best way to save the American movie industry is to leave Hollywood and its attitudes behind. Yeah, there's nothing left in Hollywood worth saving, like in the physical Hollywood. Anyone who's talented move out of a place the moment they get famous enough and rich enough to do so. But it's not really Hollywood that needs saving. It's California that needs saving. The states have destroyed any chance of entrepreneurship. And film was sort of that way. I mean, I've been in tons of meetings with guys trying to put together movie deals and just trying to raise the money or whatever. When money is free-flowing and people have a little extra, they can just pull together, especially now. I mean, the technology is such, you can shoot a movie for next to nothing. You just need the time and effort. So all you got to do is relieve the tax burden on us. God forbid. But yeah, Kevin Feige has a 10-year plan, everybody. I think it's a 10-year plan to line his own pocket, but whatever. Ryan Reynolds writing Deadpool X-Men movie, Uncanny X-Force? Possibly. Possibly. I think his movies will do well if he writes them. Because he's funny. He gets it. More on Thunderbolts. More on GTA. Here it is. Full Avengers Doomsday cast leaks. 60 heroes revealed. Here we go. Are you ready? Bruce Banner. Wong. Alex, movie pitch. Watercolors. Romantic comedy where a soldier returns from war disillusioned with the world and takes up painting. His work is ridiculed, but he finds purpose in community activities enabling refugees crossing the sea and turns his work into activism and then politics where he crushes dissenters and enables a full-on invasion. Sydney Sweeney in a bikini to play a hard-drinking, cigar-smoking world leader who stands against his endeavors. JEC, who? Ardent, Phantom X will not translate well onto the screen, I don't think. Yeah, so it's the Hulk. Wong is Doctor Strange's guy, the guy who becomes Sorcerer Supreme because they couldn't give it to an English white man in Disney apparently. Brie Larson is back as Captain Marvel. Don Cheadle's back as Rhodey, the War Machine. Karen Gillan is back as Nebula. Jeremy Renner's coming back as Hawkeye. Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan's back. It's Ms. Marvel. I don't know why. Danyai Gurari as Okoye. I believe she's the lead warrior in Black Panther. Who? Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. That's Taika Waititi's girlfriend, I believe, or side piece. Ki Hu Kwan as Ouroboros. I think he's from the Disney Plus show. Teyana Paris as Monica Rambeau, of course. JC just keeps going, who? Will Poulter as Adam Warlock, who barely got any screen time. Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams. That's Ironheart. God, what a mistake that is. Xochitl Gomez as American Chavez. Speaking of mistakes. That sounds like a fake name? Never heard of him, says JEC. Sophia DiMartino as Sylvie. I forget who she is. But Tatiana Maslany is back as She-Hulk. They're actually bringing back She-Hulk, everybody. Yahya Abdul-Mateen plays Wonder Man, which I think he's miscast. He's an okay actor, but I think he's just wrong for the role. Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang, who I believe is the daughter of Ant-Man. Ardent, Loki. JC, does she have an OnlyFans? I heard she shot a man in a movie on a movie set. Who? Ardent, race swap. Wunmi Mosaku, B-15. I have no idea who that is. Lashana Lynch is Maria Rambeau. I think that's her daughter. Famiki Janssen as Jean Grey for the original X-Men movies. JC, I think she was in that one movie I never saw. Halle Berry is Storm. You heard of her? Kai Zen as Phyla from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I didn't see that movie. Owen Wilson as Morbius. Wow. JC, bless you. Ardent, B-15 is another Loki character. Oh, okay. God forbid you got to see that Loki show to understand what the hell's going on. I know Mobius is from that. Chris Pratt, of course, is back. Samuel Jackson is back. Charlize Theron as Clea. Well, she was in the movie. She was in the MCU for like 10 seconds, I think. Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. Haley Atwell is Peggy Carter. Chris Evans is back as Steve Rogers. Bradley Cooper back as Rocket Raccoon. Vin Diesel as Groot. And Maria Bakalova as Cosmo. I don't know that one. Ardent, Mobius is not Morbius. Did I say Morbius? Sorry. JEC, Gesundheit. And then that combined with the previously announced Thor, Sue Storm, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, John Walker, Shuri, The Thing, Namor, Shang-Chi, Yelena, Beast. That's Kelsey Grammer, Beast. The Sentry, Falcon, Human Torch. That's the new Human Torch. Red Guardian, M'Baku, Ghost, the actual Loki, Tom Hiddleston, Patrick Stewart, Professor X, Ian McKellen, Magneto, Alan Cummings, Nightcrawler, Rebecca Romaine, Mystique, James Marsden, Cyclops, Channing Tatum, Gambit, Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards, and Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Let's see. JC, well, I thought they were dead. Ardent, she was in a post-credit scene. Theron. JC, did they ever really leave? They were in my heart the whole time. Ardent, Cosmo is the Russian space dog. Oh. JC, who? Alex Ogle, I always loved the line from Red Dwarf where confronting a circle in time, Lister is born. He He's found in a box with Ouroboros written on it, and the local pub goers read it as R. Rob or Ross. Huh, that's funny. JC, well, they should be good. Who? Are you making these up at this point? JC, stop, Tony. I can only get so erect. Alex, Patrick Stewart is so frail, he'll really need that wheelchair. Oh. Ardent, meanwhile, I'm more flaccid than ever. So, this is a ridiculously long cast list. How are you gonna make this happen? You can't even handle the guys in Thunderbolts correctly. You're gonna have, oh yeah, let's just add 55 more guys. That ought to make it work. Yeah, that ought to make it work. Oh, here it is. Alec Baldwin's Rust makes just $25K from limited theatrical release. Wah, wah. Dave Portnoy explodes over anti-Semitic sign at his bar in Philly. Will send 2 men responsible to... I probably shouldn't say that. Well, I don't blame him for being mad, but... It looks like another hit piece on Trump, but that's the wrap, so what are you going to do? That Park Place. More on the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts opening weekend box office a major Eternals level flop for Marvel despite strong reviews. Is there no hope left for the Disney MCU? Nope. Ardent, that was a test and it failed. Alex, Patrick Stewart has fallen a long way from playing Lennon in Fall of Eagles and Sejanus in I, Claudius. JC, in case you were wondering what a woman's life is really worth in Hollywood, Ardent, Rust. Disney's desperation deepens. Mouse House to slash summer ticket prices to $60 for Florida residents as Epic Universe looms. No, thank you. That's too much money. Still too much money. Ardent, at Alex, he was a good Gurney Haliax, though. Walt Disney World discontinues water park refillable mugs and latest blow to guest value. So you slash the prices and then cut back on the value? That doesn't make any sense, Disney. Refills sound like a good deal. Plus, you're walking around that hot park all day. You need water. All right. And finally, we'll go to Breitbart. White House celebrates Star Wars May 4th Day by trolling radical left lunatics. Ha ha ha. Let's see. Sean Penn compares Trump to a spouse murderer. He might destroy the world. Okay. Alex, at Ardent, yeah, but Josh Brolin was better. Josh Brolin is excellent. Ardent, haven't seen the new one yet. He's excellent in everything. Rosie O'Donnell claims President Trump is suffering from cognitive decline. Right? Anybody want to take a bet on when she'll move out of Ireland? I bet she moves back before the end of his term. Bad Boys star Joe Pantoliano considers move to Portugal over Trump. Oh, that's sad to hear. That's sad to hear. I like him. Seems like he's got the wrong personality to be a woke tard. Rap group Kneecap faces cancellations after F Israel Coachella performance. Look, they are stupid from wading into this. They couldn't be further away from this fight, and yet they decided, oh, that's a hot thing. Let's say something like that. It's just dumb. LeMay, some people are heading to Disneyland just to be insulted by the evil queen from Snow White. It is not enough. Yeah, I saw that video of the evil queen. She's pretty good. She's a lot of fun. But, yeah, I just think all of Disney is just in bad shape. They got to make up their minds what the hell they are. You can't be a park for hipsters, adult hipsters who want to pretend they're kids. You can't. There's not enough people for that. It should be for kids. Now, adult hipsters will come anyway, but, you know, as long as they don't get out of hand, that's fine. They got money. But it's a park that's supposed to be for kids mainly. I mean, I like Disney World good enough when I went. I think I was 16 when my family went. It was fun. We had a good time, but would I go now by myself? No. No, absolutely not. Would I go with my girlfriend at my age? Probably not. I mean, maybe if she really wanted to go, but there are amusement parks in my neck of the woods. If I want to go to an amusement park, I'll just go there. I literally have one in the next town over. That's how close the amusement park is to me. Ardent, she's already planning to leave Ireland. Really? You heard that already? Oh, boy. Alex, after that imbecile Joy Reid posted that tweet about Gondor in Lord of the Rings not needing a king, the left are too easy to troll as the Empire in Star Wars. Yes. Ardent, dumb youngsters from Ireland who'd rather talk trash about a country having issues with the religion of peace, which isn't their own. Ardent at Alex, Papal Trump did nothing wrong. What else here? Diddy trial to delve into seediest side of rap's bad boy. Yeah, that could go very wrong, the Diddy trial, if some names come out. I have a feeling they're going to edit them all out, though. Alex Ogle, I hope woke celebs escaping to Ireland aren't given any special attention by the diversity Ireland is welcoming in. Well, that's the thing. Like, they're rich. So, you know, if you're that rich, you got to have security. You have to. And, you know, Ireland's not America. Like, you get security in America and you got millions of dollars. First off, you're going to move to a neighborhood that already has a security in the neighborhood where the cops already know, oh, yeah, you got to protect those people. Yeah, you got to put up whatever they do. They have millions of dollars. You know, you'll notice when there were riots in L.A. not too long ago, the cops actually made a barricade between them and one of the rich neighborhoods. I think it was Beverly Hills. So that the Antifa guys couldn't march on it. Like, oh, they were okay with the Antifa guys running around the poor parts of L.A. Oh, yeah, go nuts. Oh, there's too many of you. We can't arrest you. Oh, wait, you're going to Beverly Hills? We'll shoot your A. We will shoot you. So that's the way it works. You know, so you'll get, and the cops, you know, will be supplemented by private security in one of these lavish communities where they'll have a gate. You can't even get into the place unless you get past the security. So now I'm sure they have those overseas too, but not like in America. Like in America, you ain't getting past that gate. They'll call the cops on you. It'll be like a 5-alarm fire. Over in Europe, you can call the cops there, I guess. Who the hell's going to come? Some, you know, some diversity hire who's going to be skeptical about your story. So, and plus you're not going to have any guns. In America, we can have all the, especially if you're rich, you're going to have all the guns you want. So, JC, Lord knows I don't get insulted enough in my day-to-day life by my friends and family, or by the government, or the media, or the bums on the street, or by the gals down at the Thai massage parlor. Nice tie-in. You really worked that into your entire set tonight, JC. LeMay, I only went there once when I was 7. I won't go back. The Thai massage parlor? You went to the Thai massage parlor when you were 7? Oh, wait. No, you're talking about Disney World. I waited too long to read that. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, after 6 years and an overturned conviction, Jussie Smollett and the Chicago government there, I guess, the police, reached a settlement over his hate hoax. So there's good news for him. Entertainment giants downplay Trump tariffs impact while media push panic. And looks like Jimmy Kimmel did some stuff, and The View did some stuff. Who cares? Who cares about those shows? Who's watching them? I don't know. Not me. And John Nolte says Disney groomers add lesbianism to Star Wars streaming series Andor. Oh yeah, that was the other thing they added to it in an episode. And the Canadian trans musicians canceled their tour on the U.S. concert. Dates to protest Trump. Imagine saying, "Oh, we'll show them. We won't make any money now." JC, I'm at the Thai massage parlor now. I'm watching on my phone. Ming says hi. Ming is the gal polishing my, I'll say fingernails. Ardent, yeah, but how much did Smollett pay Chicago? I joke, but he obviously didn't. One time, for Dave Chappelle, justice for Juicy. Alex Ogle, at JEC, you have the shiniest doorknob on the street. He said doorknob before, or half of that word. JEC, that'll show them. Ardent, they didn't cross the border? Damn it. All right. Well, we're at 9:44, and that's the magic time when I run out of iced tea. And now I have to go to the bathroom. So what have we learned today? Well, we learned that Thunderbolts is the second worst MCU movie in terms of its launch. It's probably not going to do very well next week. And next week, will I be here to see it? Of course I will. Next week is what's today? Today's the 4th. Oh, God. So fried. So next week is the 11th. Oh, I got all of Sundays wide open on the 11th. All right. So I will definitely be on time next week. Yeah, so we'll see how well Thunderbolts. I have a feeling it's going to drop like 65%. It's going to be bad. Word leaks out that it's meh, you can wait for it. I mean, think about it. If you got Disney Plus, why would you pay the money? It's going to be on Disney Plus eventually, right? I would think it would be on Disney Plus with it before Fantastic Four comes out. I would think. Ardent, wrapping up instead of the Joan is horrendously racist show. Darn it. Well, I think we had enough racism tonight. Joan's asleep. I don't want to bother. Ardent, Tony, today I learned that laryngitis can successfully be treated with relatively decent booze and honey lozenges. Ooh, that's good. Alex, Tony has learnt his lesson and saves his bathroom breaks for after the stream to save Little Joan demonetizing his stream. Yes. JC, we learned that the Thai massage parlor has 4 locations in the Greater Toronto area, and they all have different names. Wow. Ardent, never enough racism. Yeah, we had some new people tonight, so that was nice. What else did we learn? That's about it, really. I mean, things are going downhill fast in Hollywood. It really is. We learned that every time I do I don't know if you caught this at the beginning, but every time I have to do an emergency broadcast and in one of those short videos where I screwed something up and the show's not happening, I get like a bunch of hits, more hits than my regular videos. Speaking of which, vote me up. Give me an upvote. JC, Ming learned to take my money up front, jumped out of the window. LeMay, good night. Good night, LeMay. Thanks for coming in. Alex, talking of racism, Canada has a lot of Mongolians in it. Ardent, whiteys and honkies and tigers, oh my. Okay. Ardent at Alex, and they all voted Carney. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't really know what to tell you. I mean, I was kind of rooting for Poliver, but he's not all that good. Maybe accelerationism is the answer. So you actually get a base guy, because maybe Poliver would have only, delayed the inevitable collapse. So maybe this way the government will hopefully not collapse, but come close enough to collapsing that they, Keir Starmer's getting shellacked. The Labour Party's getting shellacked in the UK, so that's a bit of a bright hope for them. The Lotus Eater's been talking about it, so. Ardit, good night. Good night, Ardit. Zevek's demise. I didn't vote Carney. Carrie. I think you meant Carney. Good for you, Zevek's. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. I'm going to wrap it here. So good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.